player personnel director. He's in several halls of fame. Seriously, I can't even keep track of all the hall of fames he's in. The one and only Jerry Reynolds. Happy Friday, Jerry. How are you today?
It is a happy Friday. What beautiful weather here. I had my walk, so I'm ready. Looking forward to you guys. Listening to you while I was walking. Did have actually though my radio kind of went out for a little bit and I missed part of it. So I kind of felt like I might have missed something from Mount Sinai or something. But anyway, so anyway, I'm ready. Got basketball this evening. Got LPGA Women's Open from Pebble Beach. My life is really good now. And Mrs. Reynolds said she wanted me to help her with the sprinkler system later this evening. I told her I would, which I know she'll forget, so I won't have to.
Well played. Let me ask you about Sasha Vujacic. What do the scouts that you've talked to say about him, and how much do you think the Kings will need from Vujacic next year in order to be better this year than they were last year, Jer?
Well, he needs to be a contributor, that's for sure. The ones I've talked to and what little I've seen of him in some of the tapes and different things, it looks like he can really shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He's a legitimate shooter and, can stretch the floor. Probably not a terrible rebounder, more of a small forward type that's going to have to play power forward. But, defensively looks like not going to be a real factor on that end. So can he help? Sure. Will he help? I think he will. I just don't know if it's quite enough to make a big difference. I guess that's what I'd say.
Jerry, me and Whitey were just actually having a conversation about the Domantas Sabonis deal, and John Hollinger saying that essentially the Kings overpaid for a guy like Sabonis because there was nobody else that was going to offer him that kind of money. I'm just kind of curious, do you think, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but do you think that Domantas Sabonis is somebody who's of the caliber of being a number 2 on a championship team?
I think he is probably. I say probably because you can't know till it
happens, right?
But when you really look around the league, and I don't think anybody's worth a couple $100 million, but that's just me being an old curmudgeon. But when Desmond Bain gets $200 million, and then Tyrese gets the contract he got, it's like, oh, wait a minute, these guys, none of them have done what he's done already. And as I think you pointed out, he'll still be relatively young when the contract is over. So the risks aren't near what the risks are, say, for a Damian Lillard, who's that sort of thing. So, the only thing I think you could criticize, if you wanted to, is that why'd they give him extra money on what he had left? Mm-hmm. Because I think certainly if you had extended him just going forward, after the current contract, there's teams out there would have, Hollinger's couldn't be more wrong. And so on that, because there'd be teams out there certainly would, whether it'd be exactly the same or not, but he'd be high demand if he was a free agent.
Yeah, we were saying, Jared, maybe you heard some people criticize the Kings when they made the trade because some people said, well, they're not going to be able to keep Sabonis. And now some are criticizing them for the way they kept Sabonis. It's like, well, you can't really have it both ways. But in terms of improvement next year, if the Kings are going to get better when they basically brought back the same group, how much improvement will they need from Keegan Murray? And how much better do you think he can be in year 2?
Well, I think we saw a pretty good little dose of it in the California Classic. I'm as you know, a fan. I've said before, and I'll say it again. As a rookie, he's better than Peja Stojakovic was as a rookie, and he's better than Hedo Turkoglu was as a rookie. Wow. Doesn't mean he's going to be better than they are, going forward. But there's plenty of indication he could be. My goodness, just look at the rookie year he had. I think with Keegan, mainly he was, if guilty of anything, trying to be a good teammate and fit into a fault. Mm-hmm. And I think we're seeing that he's capable more. He knows he can do more, and we're seeing him try to do that. And I think he also showed us, or most of us, that he's more than capable playing small forward. Mm-hmm. That probably is his position. going forward. I mean, he's lively. He can block shots from that position. Anyway, yeah, I think he's terrific. I think he's the least of the problems Kings have.
Yeah. While we're talking about the Kings Summer League squad, Jerry, I'm just curious, what do you think is missing from Nemanja Bjelica's game? Like what is preventing him from being an NBA, backup center even? I mean, we see people all the time.
I think Jerry likes him.
Especially,
Jerry likes his game,
especially when we bring up who could be the Kings backup center or third string center. Nemanja Bjelica is always the name that tons of people will bring up. What do you think is missing from him being that consistent backup center?
That's a great question. I really want him to do well, and I've been pulling for him. But, I just sense his reaction time. He just seems to be a little slow reacting with his feet and reactions. To be honest with you, I don't believe he's as effective right now as Alex Len would be. I just don't. I mean, If I was Mike Brown, I'd feel more comfortable trotting Alex Len out there.
Definitely.
The guy tries hard and all, but as you pointed out, there is a point where he kind of he needs to get more done than he's doing.
Yeah. And
at some point, that's just what it is. You can't wish somebody effective.
Right.
And, and he works hard. There's nothing, you'd question there, but it just, he really isn't getting enough done.
Yeah. Do you think reaction time is something that he can improve on, or is that just kind of something you have or you don't?
I think that's kind of one of those God-given things.
Yeah.
We'd all, if everybody could improve on everything, there'd be like 100 Michael Jordans in the league. And the last time I checked, there really wasn't.
Only one.
Yeah. Are you excited about Bunyama? Are you going to be watching? I know you watch a lot of basketball. You don't get excited about everything because you've seen the big games, but are you going to be watching Bunyama's debut tonight? Is the Summer League debut of Bunyama mean anything to you?
Yeah, it really does. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. That's kind of what I like about the Summer League is seeing the so-called sure things to see maybe if they are or they're not, or get some idea. But I certainly think he is. And of course, I was hoping he'd play in the Classic.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was telling somebody today, I said, if he'd have played in the Classic, he might have been the second best player in the Classic.
Probably, yeah, behind Keegan Murray, right?
Yeah. I was going to say he'd had to put on an amazing show for a rookie to be better than Keegan was.
Yeah, that'd be tough to do. Even for Wemby standards. Jerry, this is the question that I'm most excited to ask you for. I've asked Whitey it earlier. Do you believe that Damian Lillard is truly the best Portland Trailblazer of all time? With all the talk about Dame being traded, that phrase has been thrown around tons, that Damian Lillard, the greatest Blazer of all time, they got to treat him right. I was not alive during this period of time, but I happen to know, just as a basketball historian, like Clyde Drexler is a guy who existed. Bill Walton is also somebody who existed in the Blazer franchise, led them to a title. So is Damian Lillard, in your opinion, the best Blazer of all time?
Probably for a career that he's had, yes. On the best of the best years, no. Clyde Drexler and Bill Walton. Now, Bill Walton certainly for the league for a shorter amount of time, but
right.
None were. He was certainly the best Trailblazer for a couple of year period by far. And I don't think that's even really debatable if you get down to it. But Drexler certainly was better for a 5 or 6 year period. But when you look at, say, 10 years, then Lillard would be. So he's in the, it's a small class and he's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It depends which prism you look at it through. Right. Before we let you go, Jer, my good friend Chris Watkins and Christopher Laud with us today, running the show, both very excited about the in-season tournament, which looks like we're going to get some details on that this weekend. I think I know how you feel. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but I'm having a hard time. What do you make of the upcoming? Because it's coming this year, the Commissioner's in-season tournament this year, Jerry.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because the way I look at it is that'll be a couple of days I'll take off from watching basketball.
Okay. He had me for a second there. I was like, yes.
I'll find us. I may start watching hockey during that period.
Come on. Killing me.
No, man. What are we doing? What are we doing, guys?
Yeah. I know.
You
I think it's going to work.
on.
I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be fun.
The players aren't going to care, are
They're
they,
not.
Jerry?
No, they're not going
If
to
the
care.
players don't care, it doesn't matter.
Well, the only thing that does give me pause, and I will say I felt about the same way about the play-in tournament. Now I love it.
Yeah.
So, but I can't see. I don't know. I mean, to me, that's like the Christmas tournaments in college basketball.
Right.
What does it mean? Nothing. So,
Do you think
I think LeBron will really be excited about it. I mean,
yeah,
really,
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to like. What is it that would get these guys excited? Is there anything besides money?
No.
There you go.
Besides money. Although, it'd be one of those things that, how the media is. It's like, well, he's won an MVP and he's won the most valuable player in the NBA playoffs. So now does he have to have the holiday tournament?
Yes.
Yeah.
MVP too,
Yes.
or he can't be considered an all-time great?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the new standard.
I was going to say, add Summer League MVP, and then anyway, I'm sorry. I know things are moving too fast for me, but I'm not there.
I
think a lot of people are with you.
Jerry, thanks. I'll see you Monday. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
See you Monday. You guys, you got a great show. Keep it going. I don't know if you can or not, but you got a great one going.
I'll try.
All right, thank you.
We'll try.
Yeah. Jerry came off the bench, knocked in quick, like 11 points, right?
There, yeah.
In 8 minutes.
Yeah. That was a good little
Did a
stretch
great
right there. A
job.
little super sub, little Bobby Jackson action just came.